Hi, this is TapCat, and today we're going to take a look at a game still in development called Every Day We Fight. It's mostly a turn-based tactical game, but it has real-time elements as well. I've only had access to one battle so far, but the combat system feels fairly different from what I've seen before. It does that partly by taking bits and pieces from other games and mixing them together into a new whole. But there's also at least one element in here that I haven't seen before. In this video, we'll take a few minutes to dive into the details of the combat system so you can see whether this is something you might be interested in. I'm also including a link to the Steam page for this in the description if you want to follow its progress or add it to your wish list. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at what makes this combat system so interesting. So once you have a chance to equip your characters and make your way through the first part of the map, we enter what's called the combat zone. You can see the enemies here in red. Notice let me turn. There's this guy over here. It keeps winking out, but there's a guy upstairs here. I guess it's not going to come back. And then there's more. These little icons do show you where they stand. There's another guy over here. So what we need to do, first thing I should do is go into sneak mode. So there's less chance of them seeing. You can see there's another guy up here on this roof. And so this area over here, there's a ton of them. I think I'm going to be better off starting over this way. Try to buy myself just a little bit of time. So I'm going to go ahead and climb up here.
Power cell in sight.
All right, let's come this way. Just want to make sure we're not seen while I'm trying to explain things. So this part of the game does remind me a bit of Mutant Year Zero. Let me go ahead and split up our group. And I say that because you walk around in this kind of stealth mode, and then we can pick the spot we want to stand in, and we'll be in cover. So that part is very reminiscent of that game. Let me bring one of the others over as well. Now cover is very different than what I'm used to, because in this instance, half cover is essentially non-existent. I'll show you what I'm talking about, but the key here isn't really your cover, it's more line of sight. So if part of you is exposed, they can shoot it, and the same goes for them. So if they're standing behind something half height like this, it really doesn't impede you at all. Well, the same thing is true when they're shooting at you. I am going to leave him behind half cover in this case, solely because I'm very confident we can take this guy out, but without it becoming a problem. So there you go. All right, he's still alive, but he's very, very badly hurt. So let me see. It's weird that it shows 20 AP for Dylan still, because I know darn well he doesn't have that much. Maybe he does. Maybe that because we hadn't started combat? Yeah, I guess so. I guess that didn't count. All right, so that's it for him. And now I will go ahead and move over behind full cover. I am also going to get Leo over here. And I'm actually going to go on Overwatch in this direction. Why am I doing that? Because this Guardian is easily the closest enemy we are going to have to worry about. I don't want Vivian behind half cover, but if we are both leaning into this doorway, we're actually going to have a problem with that. You get in each other's way, and you can't shoot. You can't aim very easily. Sorry, my bad. I clicked on the wrong button.
I'm watching for
So
them.
now we have 2 people all set up. I may take some damage, but we'll see. And I think we are good to go here. I'm going to end my turn and let them take actions. As I expected, the Guardian is coming for us.
Got one lined up.
All right.
I'll take this one.
There you go. So we took him down easy. Sadly, 3 more enemies are more than willing to come and pick up the fight. But notice that as we were doing that, again, like this is partly turn-based, but when it comes time to trigger something like Overwatch, it really becomes real time, you know? Actually, when you're holding your breath, you know what it reminds me of more than anything is the system in Fallout. I think they call it VATS. When you're holding your breath, everything slows down, but it doesn't stop. You also, in this game, only get a limited amount of time when you're holding your breath, and then your guy, you know, just needs to do something. He can't stay that way. So, okay. With the 1 enemy down, we have 4 left on the map. The 2 that are most likely going to be coming at us very soon would obviously be the 2 closest. They're going to be, what I'm trying to say is in position to hurt us sooner. Let me do this. Let me come here. Now I am using precious AP, even just doing that. But one thing that is nice about AP in this game, as opposed to some, is that you can use them however you want. So unlike XCOM, for example, where if you attack once at the start of your turn, the turn's over. Well, in this, as long as you have AP left, you can still attack. You can still do whatever you want. Let me do this. I'm using her sidearm. Let me swap. All right, so there you go. He got to react. But I did at least get my shots in. Now I believe I need to move 1 step over here. So see, I cannot target that guy. Even though you might think that you should be able to. All right, so we took out the 1. Unfortunately, I do believe this Guardian is going to come up the steps. I feel like Dylan is pretty well positioned here. It's Dylan. Is pretty well positioned here. So let me do this. I'm going to reload, I think. No, that was a mistake, wasn't it? No, it's not. I'm fine. It just wasn't going to let me do it while I was doing the other.
I'll keep watch over here.
Okay. So now he's down to 2. The others are all out of action points. So we're going to end our turn. Okay, so scramble. Here's another real-time thing. This is the equivalent of what you just saw them do a second ago. It can be pretty useful, especially if you're not behind good cover to begin with. You know, they use, at least some of them use, these kind of machine gun style weapons. And so what would happen, let's say I was standing here. Well, they can hit me. So when I have a chance to scramble, if I move back away from the edge, what'll happen is maybe that first bullet or 2 will still get a hit. But then as I move away, the rest will miss. So you can duck out on a lot of potential damage that way. So I do recommend it. Now, we want to be careful here. Unfortunately, these guys are very close to the edge. It looks like I can definitely hit the engineer. So there we go. I used up all of Leo's turn, but we did kill that guy, so that's pretty huge. But this Guardian is very close. So I think what I'm going to do here is, it might be kind of boring, but I'm just going to go on Overwatch again.
If it moves,
I have a very
I'll kill it.
defensible position, and I like that a lot. And I'm wondering if Vivian can soften this guy up. She's not really in position to see the others. All right. Well, I took about half of his health. I don't think that's too bad. So, Dylan's the only one with any points to speak of, and I'm going to leave him be. Oh, I see. Scramble. I will say, I sometimes miss the scrambles. That kind of olive green cover can blend in with, the map in general. So there you go. Even though I was behind cover, unfortunately, they were able to see her, and I did take some damage. However, you know what paybacks are, and that's what I intend to do to this guy. There you go. You did 50, I did lethal. Who came out of that better off? I don't think it was him. Okay, you know what would probably help is if I reload. For some reason, there we go.
I'll put that one down.
It wasn't letting me target his head. Don't know why. Okay, this is the last enemy, so I feel pretty okay here. I'm fairly confident I can get lethal, so I'm going to be a little less, cautious. There you go.
I think we're clear. So let's focus on the harvester.
Now, one thing that I didn't really get a chance to highlight, these guys do have special abilities. So, for example, Dylan can punch someone who comes into his range. It doesn't, it won't kill them necessarily, but he does knock them flat on their backs for a good couple of turns. It's very useful. Vivian has an ability where she can, if you wound a guy badly and he's in her line of sight and she has ammo, she can go ahead and take kind of a finishing shot. So these guys do have some really useful abilities. From this point, we would work on destroying the harvester. Doing so summons enemy reinforcements. So that second phase of the fight, it can get pretty crazy because there's more enemies and some of them are also more powerful. I'm not going to show that whole process because the purpose of this video is to focus on the basics of combat, but if you want to see it all play out, I can tell you that Splattercat has the full mission on his channel, and he did a great job with it if you're willing to watch a longer video. I would like to ask though, do you like this take on a cover system? Or the real-time aspects that force you to react on the spot? I'm still on the fence with it myself, so I'm anxious to hear your thoughts. In the meantime, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. I hope we see you next time.